we have a foundation and it flows really well. Not to say that we have a fairy tale marriage now. There's still hiccups, but it flows and it's rooted and grounded in love and God and faith. And so we are able to enjoy each other more now instead of just being so tense.
Let's say you have two husband and wife and they both work and one come home, he's had a bad day, she come home, she's had a bad day. They're trying to figure out, how are you going to help my bad day? But I didn't tell you had a bad day.
Happy Wednesday, winners. It is our favorite day of the week, and you are now tuned in to another episode of the Ladies in Motion podcast, Talk It Out, where we shine light on women that's winning in the local community. It's the first Wednesday in February that we're doing these sessions. And in February, we always shine light on couples who are growing in business and growing in love. And I'm so honored to spotlight today's couple today. They're my family, so that makes it even much more special. But they're winning, y'all, not just because they family, they here. They're actually winning and walking in their purpose. And we're going to introduce them in a moment. But everyone tuned in, make sure you share today's episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel, because this is going to be so good. And we have so many great things in store every Wednesday of each month. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I mentioned that they're my family. I have here today the authors of The Kitchen's Table, right?
Yes. How badly do you want it?
Yes, actually, it's a lot going on, y'all. They have a lot going on, actually. They are an author, How Badly Do You Want It? But The Kitchen's Table is like their brand. It's Wilbur and QuaShaunda Kitchens. My family, I'm proud to say. I'm going to keep saying that. I'm proud, okay? But thank you, y'all, for being here again.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it. Yes.
Thank you so much. So I've been doing this for like some time. Okay. And ever since I started doing this, every February, I always shine light on couples. I think it's because Valentine's Day is in February, but it's also Black History Month. So we got to spotlight Black love and the legacy and just like what y'all are building. Their story is extra special. Their love was so nice, they had to do it twice. That's what I keep saying. Because they were actually married and then divorced and married again. And I think that's so special. And I'm excited to just uncover your story and get to know you a little bit better.
Awesome. Yes.
So we're going to take this back to the beginning, okay? I always just like my audience to get to know my guests who I'm interviewing here. So individually, just tell me like a little bit about your childhood. Where did you grow up? Were you born and raised here in Georgia? Just tell me a little bit about your childhood and that dynamic. Is entrepreneurship something that you've seen also growing up?
My name is QuaShaunda Kitchens, and I actually grew up in Florida. I was born and raised in Florida and then moved here to Georgia. When was it? Like the late 80s. So I was in 6th grade when we came here. My mom and my sister, she packed us up and we came on up to Atlanta. But in Florida, I remember, the beach, all of my cousins. So then when I came to Atlanta, it was kind of like we really didn't have anybody. But I did see entrepreneurship as a kid because my grandfather had his own construction company, very well run, successful construction company in Florida. So I've seen it for all my life, really. And then when I came to Atlanta, Decatur specifically, went to elementary school there, finished up 1 year of elementary school there, then went to the greatest high school.
Must be South DeKalb.
Southwest DeKalb.
Love that.
Class of 95 is where I met Will. And that's where our love story started in like 9th, 10th grade. We were both in the band. So we were bandmates. We met in the band room.
If you in Atlanta, you knew about South DeKalb High School. I learned very quick. Like, this I say, it must be South DeKalb.
Southwest DeKalb.
Southwest DeKalb. Because if when you come here, people that go to that school really do have like pride for that.
Yes.
So I learned very quickly.
Yes.
Okay. And then what about you, Will? Like, where are you born and raised? What's your sibling dynamic like? Did you grow up seeing entrepreneurship? What was your upbringing like?
Oh, yeah. So I'm from Atlanta. I was born here, and I was born at Grady. So
Grady baby.
Grady baby.
I love it.
So Atlanta is my roots. My family was from Atlanta. Atlanta was the inner city, and it was a lot of crime, a lot of drugs, a lot of poverty. My mom then moved us out of Atlanta to East Atlanta, and I grew up in Decatur, and that's where I met my wife, Shaunda. Entrepreneurship was in my family from the beginning. My mom had several businesses. The first business, I believe, she had a lingerie business off of Glenwood. Yes. Okay. So then she moved into the limousine business. She started a mortgage company. My mom was a big entrepreneur growing up. I seen it so much until it was embedded in me. It was driven in me. Everything that she did, she taught me. She would sell ties, clothes. I can remember going to Beaufort Highway flea market, and she would go and buy these clothes and ties, and we would go to different people's houses. And she was a hustler. She was a natural born hustler, and
love that.
I think that's helped me. It molded me because she taught me so much of what she learned and what she knew. It helped me along the way. I can remember times when I would go on interviews. So I would work at banks. I would be a mortgage processor and a loan underwriter. So I would go to the banks in the interview, and they would say, well, tell me about yourself. I said, well, my mom started a mortgage company when I was 18. And immediately I think that sold me to them because it's like, well, he has something different that we can't teach because it was put in him from an early age. And I would get the jobs. I worked at several banks. So seeing her be an entrepreneur kind of embedded in me to be an entrepreneur. I started early being an entrepreneur. At 18, I had a beeper company. At 19, 20, I was running a limousine service. Right. Yes. So I had a beeper, and I went where I would go pay my bill, and I asked the guy. It was a nice guy. I was like, so how does this work? He was like, well, you got to buy your cap codes. I'm like, who you get the cap code from? He's like, get the cap code from telecom companies. I said, okay. So I bought me a list of cap codes. But the thing about it is my family, my friends didn't understand. I need to pay these bills, guys, so y'all need to pay your beeper bill.
Right.
So it didn't last long, but it still taught me a lot of things about doing business with family and friends. After that, I ran a limousine company for years because my mom showed me how to do. And then me and my best friend, Kevin, we stepped out on our own. We got an investor, and we got a couple limousines, and we had a lot of fun.
That's
my young age. Right. Then my son he came home in a limousine, limousine parked outside the hospital.
Oh, man, I love that.
Right.
Today's episode of Talk It Out is sponsored by Save Healing Incorporated. Save Healing is a community-focused nonprofit organization dedicated to promoting healing, mental wellness, youth empowerment, and violence prevention. They create safe spaces, provide resources, and host outreach events that uplift families and individuals while encouraging peace, purpose, and positive growth in their communities. You can stay connected with Save Healing by following them on all platforms at Save Healing Inc. 23 on Instagram, Facebook at Save Healing, or visit their website at savehealinginc.com. Thank you again, Save Healing Incorporated, for sponsoring today's episode.
So a few things that you said have stood out to me. I'm going to bring one of them out up later because in preparing for this interview, I was on y'all's website and I seen that you said y'all were like 19 and you seen Shaunda like balancing a checkbook. You asked her like, what you doing?
Yes.
So in my head, it's like, you've always been around a boss woman, starting with your mom.
Right.
So when you met this boss woman, that probably like,
right.
I feel like that probably was like, dang, okay, she ain't just beautiful, but she, got brains too, at a young age. So when you said that about your mom, I said, okay, that's why he liked my cousin. She bossed up.
Right.
So I love to hear that.
Yeah, that was really fascinating for me to see her bouncing that checkbook that day because, like I said, I was a hustler, because my mom showed me certain things. So I was doing some things that probably wasn't right. And I saw her bouncing the checkbook and I was like, well, you can take this money and put it in there. That's all I seen was like, let's do something.
Yeah.
Let's do something together. Because I don't think I was as disciplined with money as I saw her be with the money because she was counting it to the penny. And I was just like, spend it. Let's go.
So, we got it. We spend it.
Right. So I was just like, okay, I like this. I like what I see. And I think that's what drew me to Shaunda at an early age. I didn't want her to be an entrepreneur. I mean, let's go back. I wanted her to stay corporate because the entrepreneurship, you have to be everything. And I saw my mom do so much that my younger brother missed out on a lot.
Okay.
And I would tell her, hey, slow down and focus on him. Because I grew up in that.
Yeah.
And I came out okay, but my younger brother was missing a lot of her.
I got you.
He missed a lot of the days that he needed to spend with her because she was so busy trying to get to the money. That me and him, we raised each other.
That's going to bring me to like my next question. I was going to ask about a male presence in your home growing up, because you spoke a lot about your mom, then you said your mom and sister, but was it just like y'all in your home? No, like stepfather or your real father,
So,
biological father, not in the house.
Yeah, early on, it was me and my mom. She remarried when I was about 9.
Okay, cool.
But she did meet my stepfather at like 7, 8.
Okay.
But I didn't meet him
Mm-hmm.
to a couple years, which I think was good because that allowed them to get their bond before bringing me into their situation. Then it don't work. But he set a lot of the foundation of what I have in me today because of the way he was. I didn't like it as a kid, but I respect and admire what he did for me then because that allowed me to have the foundation and the standards that I have for my family.
For sure.
Of seeing him be that way.
I love
Now,
that.
they did eventually get a divorce when I was about 14, 15, and we kept the party going out straight.
And one month, don't stop. No.
Right. But no, still to this day, he's there for me and my kids, and he's a great man. So,
That's what's up. So, y'all met at Southwest DeKalb High School, though, in the midst of this upbringing, right? I want to talk about how y'all met. Okay, hear it from, let the people hear it, because I got to read this, and it was very nice. So I definitely want to hear the two perspectives in person, okay? I would love to just start there.
Since I was the aggressor, I'll go first.
Go ahead. Then.
Because I was sitting in my trombone section. I remember like it was yesterday. And I seen her come through. So my trombone section faces the front door. So
time out.
Okay.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
Okay.
Y'all was in the band together. Is this like the first day of band, or you had already been seeing her?
Yeah, I mean, we knew each other. We knew of each other, but we never really had conversation until this day.
Okay, cool. So, I had to just get the clarification.
Yeah, because I was just like, So she walked in, so I put my instrument down, and I'm just like, I got to go talk to her. She had on this black dress with these tights, and she was so well put together, so neat, so classy, and I was just like, you're different. Like, what's your name? What you doing? What? So I think I might have said something funny, like, what you doing? Like, I don't know. I can't remember what I said. I just remember seeing her in a different light for the first time.
Wow.
And I was like, she's beautiful. She's dark skin, chocolate. I was just like, oh yeah, I got to get to know her a little more. So the attraction was there since that day. And I was just like, yes, come here. What you doing?
Had to get it.
Right. So I don't know how she saw me as approaching her, but that's what I saw when I approached her.
And then what about you, Shaunda?
So for me, that story is very accurate. I remember what I had on. I had on like a little black cotton, little mini skirt. I had on the old school, old fashioned church stockings that we wear, the kind that you can easily get a run in. And I had on like a black and white long sleeve checkered shirt. And I had on looked like I was not really going to church, but very put together, nice shoe, like I wasn't going to school. Pretty much maybe a job interview or something like that.
Young professional.
So yes, young professional. So I was in the band room. I had just walked in, and I was going to get my clarinet out of the locker, we had like a band room locker where you can put instruments and stuff. And so I was going to get my my clarinet out of the locker, and then like when I'm doing my thing, I look up and boom, he right here. I didn't even see him coming because I came in and went straight to the locker. So, and then that's from there. But I knew Will as a little player.
Okay.
Yes, he was a little player. So I knew him. I knew of him because he was very well known and popular in high school.
Okay.
So when I saw him, I was like, you talking to me? Like, what you talking to me for? What you want? So, and then the rest is
history.
Yeah.
Okay.
But hold on, one more note
Go
on
ahead.
that. So, I think it is got to pay homage to Mama now. Mama pulls up one day in this, I guess it was a Deuce Quarter, big car, old school car,
Cadillac. My mom.
For some reason, she got out the car. I don't know what she got out the car for, but when she got out the car, I looked at Shaunda. I looked at her mom. I said, "That's your mom? So you gonna look like that?"
So it runs in the family.
Shaunda was nice figured in high school, but she was a little smaller. She was a little, like it wasn't fullness thereof, but
wrong woman body.
But I look at the genetics. I look at what you are, made from, and what you're gonna become. So I was like, okay, this is gonna be good. I'm thinking to me like, Longevity? Oh yeah, we could work with this. Yeah.
We cool.
Yeah, we good. Yeah. We good.
So you thought he was a player,
Mm-hmm.
and you probably was young because you popular, so you got a little clout. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So what was it like when you decided, like, I am going to like pursue her though? And what did that like journey look like as a young man? Because love when you're like 18 is way different.
Yeah.
Right.
And we were actually younger than that because we were in high school, like 10th grade. So we were like 15.
I didn't have a license. I would go pick her up in my mom's car without a license.
Yes.
But we stayed like she stayed on one end of Panola. I stayed on the other end.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I would just go out my neighborhood, make a left, go down maybe 4 or 5 lights. Her place was on the left. So my mom's like, yeah, you take the car, go pick your girlfriend. And we did it. We spent a lot of time together, like early on, because I think I was mature. My mom trusted me driving. And I believe her mom trusted me with her. So it was like, it really pretty much was nothing for us to really date, like hang out. But being young and influences and things like that kind of caused us to kind of split off a little bit. I'm not going to put a blame on anyone, but influences.
About it. Right. Because I get it. I feel like I get it. Okay. I'm not married and but I was also, we're going to go on because I'm just curious to hear what your mindset was like. One of my mentors, shout out to my girl Frando back at home, her and her husband has actually been together since like middle school,
Wow, yeah.
And it's just very interesting because I remember at Vacation Bible School, Auntie Tan, shout out to Auntie Tan, she was telling us, that Frandle came to church like during Vacation Bible School when she was younger and said in the 7th grade, like, my boyfriend who I'm dating now, we're going to get married. Like, he's the one, I know it. And they're married now and they've been together and yada, yada, yada. Right. So I just find that interesting because Auntie Tan said that back then all the adults was like, oh, she's so grown. Like, why she's fast? You know how I go. So I just want to ask, like, when y'all were young, did you even think like, oh, this is going to be my wife? Or is it just like, we're young, we're in the moment. You know what I mean? What was that like? Because when you're young, you're kind of delusional too with the love. So it's like, oh, this must be love, what was y'all's mindset like?
I was intentional. And I was intentional because I put it on a photo. So we had these photos. So we didn't have social media. So we showed our likes by passing out actual wallet-sized photos. So on the back of a photo, but then you would sign it. You would give your little note, Shaunda, CO, whatever, hearts and all that. And I put on there, you're going to be my wife. And this is years.
I still have the picture.
Wow.
Yeah, this is years. I mean, like, I don't even know what a wife is or what it's supposed to do. But I was like, you're going to be my wife. But I think it's intervention. It's intervention. They say divine, you speak it into existence and it comes. So I believe in that. And I believe, more now what you say in your tongues is powerful. So you have to speak it. And so me knowing that now of what I wrote and it came to, then you have to believe that there's a power in you and yourself and what you speak. So yes, that's how it happened.
And then cuz I want to ask you, like, when you got that, did you think like, or do you think, okay, this could be like, like what was your thoughts? Because he said he was intentional, but I know as women, if my man is intentional, you can tell when he's intentional. But if he is running in circles, you can tell too. You know what I mean? So since he was intentional, did you feel that? And what did that make you feel like? So young, that's so cute. I love this.
I know it was cute, and I did. But when he did the picture, it was like. He said like he did say that, but he kind of said it in a way because we had already broke up like in high school
before.
Yeah, we had already broke up. So I was like, I looked at it, I was like, yeah, right. You already done broke up with me. So I was just like, whatever, like that. But we did when we were together before we broke up in high school. Like we had a really good relationship. So I was like, oh, but I was like. We already broke up, so
right. So I have to ask this, okay? Y'all men is something else, but all of us. But it just makes me tickle. It just makes me laugh. But so when you broke up the first time, like, do you remember why you broke up? And y'all obviously stayed cool enough because he gave you the picture and still said, hey. I know what's going on. You still gonna be wifey. But do you even remember what that, what the reason was? You don't want to share? I'm just curious.
He blamed it on me. I blame it on him. So he said it was my fault because, like, my mom ran a strict program. That's the reason why we got out of Florida. One of the reasons why we got out of Florida, because she really didn't see where it was headed back then. She didn't want her girls to grow up in that. She wanted to give us more opportunities. So she ran a strict program because, again, we were here with little to no family. So she was like, nope, and no again. And so when I made friends, you know, she would like have her checklist of like, you know, what, yes, you can go here, this person, so on and so forth. So one of my friends that she let me go around, it was time for her to, I had been over her house a couple of times before, like spend the night, you know how kids do. And so I spent the night with her. And then one particular time, it was his birthday. It was his birthday weekend. And he was having a party. He was having a party at his house. And it was also the weekend that my mom said I can go to my friend's house. And so I went to my friend's house because we were supposed to, from my friend's house, go to his party, because with my mom, I knew she wouldn't have let me go to that party. It's not that she wouldn't have let me go. I wouldn't have had a way to go.
Get on the phone.
I wouldn't have had a way to go because.
So you had to go through your friend.
Yeah, I had to go through my friend because my mom like, I'm not taking you. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. So she was just like, be quiet. It was so funny. Y'all keep it quiet. So, but see, this how men will do. So what he did was, because I couldn't, and then when I got to my friend's house, she had other plans. So we end up not going, but at the same time, he took that as an opportunity to
do he want to
be an entanglement with somebody else.
See, okay.
So he's trying to put the blame on me, but that's called. But we young, so I get it. But as an adult, that's called lacking discipline. You still got to be disciplined. As an adult, but as a kid, you're a kid. You gonna do what you gonna do. Right. My girlfriend ain't here. Oh, you ain't here. Oh, bet. Okay, I'm gonna show you.
I said earlier,
and that's what he did.
Influences.
That's what he did.
Influences, right? So
I maybe was influenced, but so were you.
So this friend, let's go back, that she spent the night with. Stay on the west side.
Okay.
Now, like I said,
people in front of the west side that's gonna see this. They ain't gonna appreciate it. They gonna feel the way.
It ain't about feeling the way. The east side and the west side was different. The west side, you way more faster. Like I said, my family, we from Atlanta, so we went to the east side. It's slower.
I heard that.
Okay, so this is two different situations.
Night and day.
Okay, so I know who you with.
And you on the west side? Nah.
She got me and pick her up from school. I mean, come on now. Let's put the table. Let's put it on the table.
Right.
Now, like I said, I was able to drive. I could have picked you up. Your mama know me. My party was during the day. And some of the same friends that was at that party will be at my parties at the house now. And I'm like,
I love that.
You couldn't come to my party, but you can go over her house? Okay.
So you weren't having it.
So
that's why we broke up.
So the opportunity, well, so there was a young lady that was interested. And I was just like, I'm hurt. Because I'm like, my girlfriend ain't at my party.
Ain't nothing worse than a hurt male teenager.
What?
For real?
I'm like,
scarred for life.
No, wait. My mom has left us the house. She had left us the house. We talking like friends, and they got their girlfriends, and things are going on. Yeah. Right? They over in that room, he in that bathroom. It's men, it's boys and girls, so they kissing and they making out, whatever you call it.
So that was the first breakup. Right. And that was in high school?
That was in high school.
About to graduate?
We were like 10th grade.
Yeah, we were young.
10th grade.
And when did y'all get together before y'all graduated again? Because that's going to lead me to my next question. So y'all, after that, y'all stayed broke up?
I ain't like her no more.
So I'm curious to know, like, did a friendship continue up until graduation? Because usually I start my interviews right when you step into adulthood, when you graduate high school. Where do you see yourself going? So I'm going to get there, but I just want to ask, in between that 10th grade to graduating, were y'all still friends? Did y'all communicate, or was it just like whatever?
No, we were still friends because we were in band together. And if you know, like Southwest DeKalb, very rich history and heritage. So being in the band together, we were just always around each other
Right.
anyway.
Okay.
And so
Right.
we same class of 95. We had some of the same classes. So I believe he had another girlfriend. I had another boyfriend. So we were
Okay.
still cordial,
Okay.
but it was like,
Right.
yeah, we weren't we're not dating anymore.
Okay. And then when you graduate, 95, what was your plan? Because I just want to ask you, because you're an esthetician now.
Yes.
You're in the beauty space. You can tell because
Right.
you are T. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. So, but what was your plan? Was being an esthetician always your plan, or did you have other plans?
My plan was, I remember writing it in my yearbook, my plan was always business. Like I said, seeing business as I grew up. I knew that's what I wanted to do. Being an esthetician, though, was not my first initial career path.
Okay.
My initial career path was a dental hygienist.
Okay.
So still in that business mindset, me and my best friend still to this day in high school, we had made a pact. She was and her first choice was a veterinarian. But I don't know where the pact came in. I think the pact came in kind of like after high school, like going through college a little bit. She was like, well, I'm going to change mine to dentistry. And I was like, okay, well, because I've always wanted to do dental hygiene. So she was like, okay, I'll be the dentist, you'll be the dental hygienist, and, so on and so forth. And so, but with me kind of like speeding it up a little bit, we had already got back together. We had some kids.
Okay.
And so overall, dental hygiene didn't work out because school and being a mom and kids, and it was a lot. Okay. And the program was very rigorous, like once you got to that dental hygiene part. So I didn't do that. But again, I still had that passion for entrepreneurship. And I've always loved beauty. I've always loved everything pretty and this and that and the third. And so I kind of gotten to a point where I knew dental hygiene wasn't going to be it. Because the classes, it just wasn't like I wasn't able to get accepted into the program. So I started working like a corporate job, just working, banking, collections, things like that. And I was just like, this is not it. I cannot sit in this cubicle in these 4 walls. This is not me. I was just like so irritated doing that. And so then one of his cousin's girlfriend was an esthetician.
Okay.
And we had went to lunch or dinner one day, her and I, and she was telling me, she said she was just telling me what she did. And I was like, oh, that sounds good. She was like, I said, that's a career. She was like, yeah, it's called an esthetician. You can get a career out of that and make money. I was like, really? And so she was like, yeah. And so we started talking, and then I did the research. And so it was kind of like always on my mind. I was like, oh, I can do this. But it wasn't until a few years later that I actually took that and pursued it as a career path. But I did in, I think, 2026 is when I really started thinking, not 2026, 2006.
Okay, got you.
And then I enrolled in school. And from there, I've been a licensed esthetician since 2007. So almost 20 years. Wow. I've built a successful business. Thank you. I started out at a spa off of Cascade. It was a well-known spa back then. I stayed there and really learned the business and learned systems of business because that's what keeps businesses going is systems. If you don't have a system, your business ain't
that's
hitting
real.
on nothing.
That's real.
And so, so the systems that I learned and being in a thriving business environment, salon and spa environment that I learned, I was able to take that and do my own thing. So then my sisters and I, around 2011, we started our own not skincare company, but wellness spa. So it was called Aromasoul. It was a long name. Aromasoul Skin Boutique and Brow Bar. Okay. And so it was my sisters and I was an esthetician. My other sister did aesthetics too. And we had another sister. She's a nail technician and she also did massages. So we built that. We really built the business from that. And then, like sometimes family and business, it can get a little tense.
Right.
So we were successful in West Midtown, Atlanta with that for about 6-7 years. But while we did that, the first 3 years of the business, and this is like our book title, How Badly Do You Want It?
Right.
That applies to everything, y'all. How badly do you want something? And I wanted it real bad. I wanted to be a successful, well-known esthetician really bad because I worked 2 jobs. I did the spa off of Cascade. I did that for 3 years. That and aroma salt, I did it for 3 years at the same time. So I would get up in the morning, have my clients at the spa off Cascade, and then at about 2 o'clock, I would cut my day off, and I would drive about 30 minutes to the west side, to West Midtown, and I would start taking clients so I did that for 3 years because I wanted it just that bad. And so, and so for 3 years, again, I did that, and then I was able to just let the spa off of Cascade go. And then my sisters and I, we did the business off Howard Mill, and it was great until it was time to just let it go. But in that, because again, skin is my passion, I revamped my brand. I pivoted, and it was just me and complexions. That's what I have now, complexion, skincare, and beauty. And that has thrived. So I started in a friend's salon in that same area off Howard Mill. And then my husband helped me to find my own space in 2018 in College Park. And so it's been going. I have had some of the same clients now for about that time frame, 16, 17 years.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I want to go back a little bit because you said you graduated school, you had a plan to do dental hygiene, but before, like while you was going to school, when was that? Was it right after high school?
Yeah, I started right after high school. And then, so what was that, like 96, 96?
Sorry.
So yeah, that's where I was getting to. So how we got, I think I kind of went off into that because I heard business in my ears.
Right. So I just got to go back because I'm like, wait a minute.
So how we got back together was after high school, probably like 96. I was probably working at a grocery store or something. I don't know, going to school. And then he saw one of my sisters at Underground Atlanta. And he said, you, Shaunda's sister, whatever, and she was like, yeah, what's up? Because they knew each other. But she was, when we dated, my sisters were like 6 and 7 probably. Okay. So they kind of remembered him a little bit, but not really. And so he saw them and, realized that they were my sisters. And he was like, give your sister my beeper number.
Give my beeper number.
When his beeper come in, give your sister my beeper number. And so she came home and she was like, girl, guess who I saw? I saw Will. She was like, here go his beeper number. Because again, no real social media. You have phones, So it was a lot of pen and paper back in the day. And so, gave me his beeper number. And then I called him and we started talking from there. So this was like 96.
Okay.
Yeah. And we started dating from there.
And then Will, I got to take it back to you. That is great. And that's a great pivot point. I love that. Okay. So I want to take it back to you. Number one, what was your plans after high school for young Will? What did you have planned for yourself? Was it to go to college or entrepreneurship? Just let me know your perspective. And before you answer that, though, when your sister told you, hey, guess who I saw? What did you feel like? Did you feel like, ooh, were you already dating someone else maybe? Like, where was your mindset in your life before you reached back out to him? And then we'll let you answer that.
Right.
When she told me, I was like, oh, okay. Because I think when I graduated, I was 17 because my mom put me in school early. So I was just like, oh, okay, Will. Okay, yeah, let's see where that goes because I was probably dating or, going out on dates, but I knew I was not in a relationship. Like I didn't have a boyfriend. So I was like, okay, let's see.
Okay. And then after high school, what did you plan to do? What was your plan?
So I received a full band scholarship to Kentucky State University.
Okay.
And again, it's just divine because in Kentucky, I did some things that was not right, and I was kicked out of school.
Wow.
So I think that if I was not kicked out of school, we would not have met because things line up for certain reasons. You don't know why. Everything happens for a reason. So got kicked out of Kentucky State University. I come home. I'm just going through life, hustling a little bit, just trying to, do some things. And that's when it happened. When I saw her sister, I was just like, oh, man, come here. How your sister doing? She doing right? I said, yeah, she doing right. I said, okay, well, make sure she call me, make sure she give her my number. So, and it's just, thinking about it now, it's almost like the band room all over again. It's like the reconnection, the connection, and then the reconnection. Because, again, still remembering what's on that picture, things are lining up. not knowing that this is how it's going to go, because it was not forced, but it was always intentional. So it was very, very good that I did see her sister that day, because I don't think I had a main girlfriend. I had friends.
Right.
I'm young, we hanging out, but I was still open to seeing her and seeing how she's doing, and just checking up on her and stuff like that. Yeah.
And then what you say you were just kind of working then, what was that reconnection like when y'all finally, not going through a sister, what was the reconnection finally like when y'all did?
I think we had a lot of fun. I think we did a lot of things that we wanted to do early on, but now we're older, so we're able to date a little more.
Right.
So we spent a lot of time together. We did a lot of favorite restaurants.
Yeah. A lot of what you call those, like amusement parks, like what's that place? Whitewater.
Yeah, 6 Flags Whitewater. That was a good date.
Just
dating.
Just dating. Yeah, just
love that.
getting to know each other again for real and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And during this reconnection, did you, Will, I'm going to ask you, just because you're the man, did you have it in your head, okay, this might be it then? Now we done reconnected?
They was always there, because like I said, when I put it on a picture that she's going to be my wife, I knew that I wanted her to be my wife. I was just young and going through life, but at the same time, I respected her in that light. And I tell her all the time, I put you here. And I always wanted to keep you here. Like men might not have, not knowing how they treated her. I don't know, I wasn't there, but I wanted her to know that when I'm in your presence, you are my queen. So this is how I'm going to treat you. And I always felt like these are the things I have to do. I'm going to go back a little bit. Last night, me and my friend we were talking about how cold it was. And I was like, yeah, man, I remember in high school, I made sure she had a coat. I would try to make sure you need a coat, you need, buy something. So that was the provider and protector in me, to make sure that she was okay. And I think I kept that along the way, because that's what drives a man, when he can see a situation and take care of it and provide for it and make sure that person is good and always be there. Because sometimes men feel like it's not enough, or I'm not able to do it. And that's why they get intimidated, because they don't feel that they can be the man that they are, because they don't have the opportunity to do what they need to do for that person. And that's why she allowed me to do that, because it was her mom, and her sisters. And I recognized a situation where I could be of assistance, not taking over, but just be able to be there for somebody.
Adding value.
Right. Yes.
And like you said, and not taking.
And not
taking.
Yes.
So that's always precious. I love that so much. Okay, cool. So, graduate high school, they've reconnected y'all. You were going to be in dental school. You eventually went to esthetician school. What was that like? Were y'all married while you was doing that? When did marriage come around? How long was that?
Marriage came in 99.
Yeah.
So
it came early.
The first marriage came in 99, shortly, 4 years after high school?
Okay.
So we were still fairly young. I was 21 when I got married.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was 21, so I got married young. And so when we got married, I think I was working at the bank. I was working at the credit union, specifically in Grady Hospital.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was working at the credit union, and it was okay, but I was just like, I still didn't feel fulfilled in my career.
Right.
So I was just like, but at that time, I was kind of like the stable income. So I kept working to keep the household going.
And at that time, I was trying to be the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I was the one that was keeping everything stable.
Right. I got you.
And so I stayed at jobs that I really didn't want to be in, because I kind of had to.
I understand.
So we got married in 99. In the marriage, marriages go the first few years, it's all beautiful and honeymoon stage, and then it starts to do some things. In hindsight, if you get divorced, it starts to deteriorate, it starts to go down, and so that's pretty much what happened. We were really on the verge of out, so we finally went into two separate households the end of 2006, the beginning of 2007.
Okay.
Mhm.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Okay. First, I want to talk about the decision to get married. If anyone's watching, they're 21 and 22. Like, what can they expect in like a marriage being so young in those first like 3 years?
For us, the decision to get married was a mutual one because, by this time we were all in love and stuff. And our first son was born in 97.
Okay.
So we were parents. And so it just felt, right. So it was like, yeah, let's get married. Let's do it. I remember we went to, I don't even think they're in existence anymore, Friedman's Jewelers. And he bought me like a little, the engagement ring was so little, I lost it.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
It was so little, I lost it. But I was so hurt when I lost it because it was like my engagement ring, So, but it was a mutual decision to get married. We were excited. We had a huge wedding, like limos, probably about 8.
Really?
No, it wasn't that many.
4.
4
4. You were at the limo
limos.
company. So 4 stretching limos.
So the bridal groom had
navigator
one, the groomsmen had
limos.
one. I think our parents had one, and me and my wife had one.
I'm getting the number
this
8
time-
mixed up with the amount of people we had. So we had a lot of, I had like 8 bridesmaids. So yeah.
Because at that time, like I said, we was heavy into the limousine business. So limousines was nothing to get. So yeah, it was good.
And y'all look beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes, beautiful bride.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
So we get married. I love that. You have your first son. What was motherhood like? Just what was that like being young and just doing it together? Did y'all even talk about kids when y'all dated the first time? Like, did y'all even talk about
No,
that?
I don't think we talked about kids in high school. We
Wow, that's so funny.
no. But yeah, I enjoyed motherhood. I really did. Nice, smooth pregnancies, beautiful, healthy babies. And my mother is a wonderful mother. So I had a great example.
Right.
Like I had an awesome example. So I had a lot of support from my mom, and so motherhood for me has never been an issue. It's always been smooth. I know that is one of my purposes in life is to be a mother because I do it so well. If I do say so myself, I'm not gonna deal my light on that. I'm a great mother. I think my kids would say so too. So, but yeah, so it was motherhood. It was good. Yeah.
And then I want to ask you, Will, like just being married, because I always hear people say like, becoming a mom, it changes, just the dynamic of things. So I do want to ask you, like, after, just seeing your wife now, have to not just prioritize y'all's marriage, but this baby now, and you too, like, you have to do it too.
Right.
But I just want to ask you, like, what was it like watching her as a mom also?
Right. It was great. I think that
Back
a
then.
Right. A lot of my decisions about dating her, getting married, having kids came from her upbringing, seeing how she was molded into this beautiful woman and mother because her mother was that. And when I would go to the house, it's clean, it's neat. You didn't have any too much things out of place. You was going to respect her house. She didn't allow us in the bedroom. We had to sit on the couch. So I seen that and I'm observing these things because I'm like, okay, there's some discipline here. There's some structure. There's some things that I like about it because I had the same thing in my life. So I was like, okay, she's not loose and mom ain't just letting her do whatever she want to. So I know when I leave, I can turn my back and be like, no, she at home. Mom ain't letting her go nowhere.
Right. Got that.
I was out there, but no, I'm joking.
Okay.
But no, so it was good seeing her evolve into a mom and a wife.
I do want to talk about something that you said, because you said if it gets to divorce, it was deteriorating before that, and then you mentioned in your own story, by this point, it was already kind of like shifting. So I want to ask, like, the shift in your marriage that led to divorce the first time, like, do you remember it? Do you remember, like, just from your both perspectives, like, do you remember being like, dang, something's not right? Or do you even remember when it got to the point of like, okay, this can't be saved? Or could it have been saved back then if y'all would have, whatever. I just want to hear y'all's perspective around divorce and kind of what led to that and the feelings around it and everything.
Part of it is, I say too, that I think we got married too young, in my opinion, but then not necessarily getting married that young is not a bad thing if it's just you two. And what I mean when I say that is like you don't have like a lot of outside influences or things like that. And so the reason why it was a little harder for us is because he already had a child.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the way that the child came about and it was kind of it's a lot. It's a lot of detail. He had a child already coming into the marriage, and then he actually had two. I take that back. He had two.
Okay.
And one I found out about a year right before we got married. So I think we were already engaged and everything, and then I found out about the second child. So it was just like a lot being dumped on me, like, you know, and then, but still, because I was in love and we had a family, we had our first child, I was like, well, yeah, we could, that's fine. We can, we could figure it out. We can make it work or whatever. And so, moving forward with that spirit of making it work and just still, being a family, when you're dealing with other kids, blended family at such a young age, I know how our child, how I wanted him to be present in our child's life. So I would expect the other women to want their child's father, which is him, to be present in their child's life, even though they weren't in a, quote unquote relationship. I've never had to deal with that. I've never not had a child by someone that's not my husband. Right. So I didn't know or understand you can't be here for this baby because you my husband and you my boyfriend. So you're going to be here for this baby. So, but they didn't have that. But so that festered into a whole big hot buttery mess. And I say it, she's heard it with an overbearing mom. It's gotten better over the years, but in the beginning, it was just like,
I can imagine. Black moms and they sons, young, I already know.
And it was a lot. It was a lot of drama mess.
Yeah.
It was a lot of drama mess. And so, again, at such a young age, I'm like, I'm just, I was almost kind of like green, like, la da 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 da. I'm just coming in, getting married. This is my husband. We're having a family. But I got all of, just a whole army of mess that I'm having to deal with. And I'm like, oof. This too much. I can't, because before we got divorced, we had separated for maybe that didn't last long because again, this is my husband and I love him. Right. So it lasted probably about 2, maybe 3 months. And then it's like, okay, come on, man.
I quit.
And so in those 2 or 3 months, like what was going on?
I think it was a while ago. So this had to have been like maybe 2004. Okay. So it was a long time ago. But even though we separated, we never were completely like, we were never non-communicative because we had 2 small kids. Right. So we still have to have some type of communication. And like I tell people, and in our book, the love was always there. The respect left, the trust left. But you can't have a marriage with just love. It's just not going to work.
That's real.
The love was always there. So it was easy for, me to be open to like, okay, let's try it again. Or easy to make it work. But then when those other foundational elements, like we talk about like chapter 1, chapter 2, you have to have a solid foundation. Right. And so if you have 3, but 2 of them are missing, it's just not gonna do what it need to do.
Y'all was married for 10 years. Yes. And then got divorced. Just what is that like? How did that decision come about? You have children now. I'm just curious to know how that got there because we married again, y'all. So obviously it didn't last. But I love y'all's story. I really do think it's beautiful. And I think it is a true example of like when you want something badly though, you will do whatever,
Right.
it is. And you really do. Like love is the ultimate sacrifice.
It is.
Yeah.
It was initially my decision to divorce because I was just like, this too much between, the kids, their moms. And it wasn't that the kids were an issue like that. I mean, we're just going to be real. It was in the sense that they are not my biological kids. And so that's a hurt all in of itself to know that, my husband has kids by other women. So it was kind of like, but the kids are innocent, like the kids have, one of them has lived with us a few times. So it's just like, the people even say we look alike. And so, but it was the mothers and his mother. And then the inconsistencies with finances, job security, things like that. So, and me, a young mom, having to be a mom, because, you can't ain't no days off from that. And then I was in school trying to become a dental hygienist, and I also had to work a job as the consistent, stable income. Right. It was too much.
It was a lot.
It was too much.
On the 21, 22, like,
yeah, this was my 20s. Right. Like, so I was just like, I can't give it another. But I stayed, I think, longer after those times where I felt like I wanted to get a divorce. I stayed longer because of the kids, because of our first two children are boys.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And as a father, period.
Yeah.
Period. Period. Yeah. And so I didn't know how to separate myself and not separate the kids, even though I did. I just didn't know how that did. I knew it would hurt the kids. And so I was trying to figure out how can I remove myself, but still, and the kids, because they were coming with me, but I didn't want my babies to come with me. I didn't want their relationship to be tainted. I didn't want their relationship to go down the drain. And it didn't. It did not. Even in our separation and divorce, their relationship. Because I've never, and just a little tidbit, you see some women, when they get divorced or separated or break up or whatever, they become very bitter. Right. And use the children as a pawn. I've never done that, even though I hated his guts.
Really?
At times I hated his guts when we got divorced. I never said one bad thing. I never said one bad thing about him in front of the kids. The kids still they'll never know how I felt about their dad. Yeah.
That's a good woman right there.
Yes.
So Will, I just have to ask you, because she said that she, prior to even getting divorced, she had thought about it. But just from you, because sometimes, we can just live in our own little world. So did you, though, have thoughts of divorce, or did you not even see it coming? Like, what was your perspective like when that happened?
Well, I knew there was a lot going on, like she said, from my kids and mom. And so I knew that I was putting a lot on her, but I wanted her to, I would say, deal with it. And when you hear it, it's coming out wrong.
Right.
But I'm not saying deal with it as a sense of let it go, but this is our life right now. And I would tell her, I can remember vividly, I would say, we have to become what we are. Like, we're parents, so we have to be husband and wife. We got to stay together. But that was not right for me to say, because she was going through these feelings and things coming to her from so many different areas, and dealing with, like she said, being a mom, going to school, going to work. And I'm from the old school in the sense of I'm put everything in my baby mama name, because that's what we was doing at the time. Like, it's just putting your baby mama name. Like, she had the cars, the house, the insurance, the stable job. And that's what caused the first marriage a lot of turmoil, because she was bearing a lot.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it as a man, because these are the things that I've learned throughout the years listening to older cousins and people around me and this different type of men, that I shied away from that foundation. And we go into, I'm going to do it my way. I know what the foundation is, but now I'm doing it my way. So my way is put everything in baby mama name. You keep the job. I'm in the streets. I'm hustling.
Yeah.
You get the insurance. Keep, so, and that's what happened. Getting a divorce, no, I didn't want it, because I can remember, like, yesterday we had bought a house. We bought a house young, and we was in our garage, and I was sitting on the deep freeze, and I was like, the hurt part about it is, after this, we're going to know how to be good for the next person. So
that always sucks.
Right. So, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, yes, we went through all of this, but we've learned something. It's taught us something. I've learned something, but I'm going to take what I learned and allow someone else to benefit from it. And you're going to take the things that you learned and went through and allow someone else to receive that goodness. And it was just like, but if this is what you want, then let's do it.
Right.
Because again, it's divine. Like, it's things that you say and you want. And I just kind of felt like, okay, let's go. And I think the financial part of it was the main thing. And me not knowing what it really takes to be a man. I seen it, but it was, Dad, I don't want to live that life. Like my father, who raised me, was a over the road truck driver and a pastor at a church. So he was gone all the time, but he provided.
Right.
The foundation was there. He instilled the discipline. He instilled God. So I knew what it take. I knew what it looked like, but I was trying to do it my way. So now, fast forward, those are the foundation that I go back to be the man for her, to provide, to protect, have God in your life, and to believe that you are the man and these are the things you have to do, instead of being the little boy that I was, trying to make sure that I had things that I wanted and she had to take care of it for me.
How long were you divorced before you got married again?
So numerological timeline, it was 10 years. Everything is 10, 10, 10.
No.
Yeah,
Yep.
but
That's crazy.
the marriage
Yeah.
took place 10 years, but we got back together.
Yeah, so the marriage took place in 99. The divorce was finalized in 09, and we got remarried in 2019. And I didn't realize that until I'm like the number 9 and then that 10-year time span. But the divorce was final in 2009, but we separated in 2007. Like I would say January of 2007, because we lost our home in like November of the previous year. And so we had to leave.
Right.
So when we left separate. I went to my mom's home. He went to his mom's home. So I think that Christmas, we celebrated that last Christmas in our home. And then the January of 2007 is when we were just like in separate households. So the separation started there, and the divorce then become final until 2009. But we started back being cordial like in 2010.
Okay, that's going to be my question.
I say we really made it a solidified, like, okay, let's try this again in 2011. Wow. So the time frame from like just being completely done with each other was about a good 3 years. 3 years, from 2007 to 2000, like mid 2010.
So I'm curious to know, in those 3 years, like, what did that look like for you both as individuals? And what did it look like still as a unit? Because you're still a unit because you're parents, So, yeah, what does it look like as a unit? Did y'all have to learn how to communicate? Like you said, you could stand him at one point. So when did that go from, I can't stand you, to like, okay, I still love you, and maybe we can actually work this out? I'm curious to know.
I think it was a blend of it. Of course, when something first happens, good or bad, either you're overly excited and then it fades out to like, okay, or you're overly angry and then it fades out to like, okay. So at first I was just like overly angry because I'm like, because we in this position, all this kind of stuff and all the things. And so angry, but I mean, I was living my life. I had a good time. I was traveling, partying, working still, being a mom. Certain things for me did not change. Okay. I still had to be a mother to the boys because they were in my care. I still had to work because I had to provide for them and, obviously myself. So that never changed. But, just going out, seeing what I like, trying different things, going to different places. I did that. Again, we were still parents, and I never spoke bad about him to the kids. And so, from the kids seeing him from birth, they were like, okay, Mom, when Dad coming over, or when this? So, even if I was angry, I had to go in my bathroom and be like, this. And I come out and call and be like, hey, so when you coming to see the kid? Are the kids ready? So it was, I know how to turn it on and turn it off.
That's good.
So it was, I was able to be angry at him, but still cordial with him for the kids' sake. So.
And then what about you? Like, did you have any resentment?
Kind of, sort of, but I want to go back.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
To the day of the divorce.
Yes.
Oh, that's his favorite part.
So everything, like I said, is divine. Everything is intentional. Everything is what allows the story to keep going. So the day of the divorce, we went to the courthouse together. There's some parts in there that she say didn't happen. I say happened. So I say we rode there together.
Yeah, we did. We did ride there together.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to the courthouse,
Mm-hmm.
and this particular day, it's a very bad storm. To the point where we're in the courtroom and the lights go out.
What?
Thunderstorm.
That would have tripped me out.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So we go in the hallway now. We in the hallway like high school. Put your head down between your legs.
No way.
Right. So I'm like, this is a sign. I'm telling her like, I don't know
And I'm like,
what. Right. I'm like, but I'm laughing because I'm like, okay, this is a sign. Like, okay,
Wow.
we don't have to really do this. We
That is
already came out the
beautiful.
courtroom. Let's just go home. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah.
So we finally get the divorce. The judge was cool. Everything was okay. You know, I'm still in good spirit. I'm, laughing. I'm like, well, this is what you want. Let's make it happen because let's do it. So we leave the courtroom. It's still raining.
Mm-hmm.
And we go back to her place. I didn't have a place at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we had like one last hurrah, you know.
Mhm.
So I was cool. Like, okay, well,
Right.
This is what we're doing. Let's do it.
Mhm.
But it was a wake-up call for me. So
Really?
after the divorce, after everything, then I had to do a lot of soul searching and feel like, hey, get your life together. Be the man you need to be. Focus on yourself. Like at that point, I had to stop worrying about what she was doing. Can we get better together? You gonna call me? Where you going? Who you gonna be with? No. Focus on you. Get myself together. Be the man. I wanted her to like me. So I had to really look at myself and say, what are you doing? What do you have?
So
Go
this
ahead.
is interesting. So even then, like you still like when you say that, it's like you have it in your head that you was gonna fix yourself and still try your wife again. Like you was gonna come back for her regardless.
Well,
that's what it sounded like.
I wasn't going to come back for her. I wanted to be in a position where she wanted to come for me.
Okay.
Like I wanted her to see
Okay.
that this is the man that I knew you could be and married, so we can do this.
Okay. Go ahead.
So it wasn't like I was going to, because I think at some point I had to deal with her through a third party because of the hurt, because of the back and forth. I didn't want to be on a yo-yo. You wanted to be a single mom. You wanted to get a divorce. Then I'm not going to be available for you as you want me to be,
Got you.
because we could be together and go through these stages of life and these ups and downs and hurdles or whatever. But so, I mean, I can remember one time she didn't have my number or something like that. So she had to call my mom, like, to get information. And I was like, yeah, Mom, I'll call her back later. So I think she was bringing the kids to my house upstairs with my mom. And when she came through the front door, I went out the back door. Because, I mean, again, I'm still hurt, but I'm not trying to show the hurt. Like, I'm not in a good space. Money is not always how I wanted to be. So I went and got in my car, turned the music on, and I'm just sitting there. Hopefully when she leaves, then I'll just go back in the back door and go in the house. So I'm sitting in the car, and I just hear coming down the side of my car. And I'm like, what are you doing? And I don't know what, I can't remember what she said. Just my mom said, get back in the car. Don't do nothing, don't do nothing. I'm like, I'm not going to do nothing. But why are you scratching my car up? I'm not even trying to talk to you.
Right.
So that was one point that I had to just continue to get myself together, you know. But
And then now I have to talk about the reconnection, okay? Because I'm just curious, you know, what did that look like? You said it was about maybe 3 years or whatever of like whatever, but then y'all slowly start working on the relationship again. What it looked like, and the decision to just remarry again. Like, what did that look like? Did you tell anyone? Did people say y'all are nuts, or did someone say we ain't even surprised? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like,
Right,
what was
right.
that like? I'm just curious to know.
So some people didn't even realize we had divorced the first time.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so some people didn't realize
Wow.
we divorced the first time, but pretty much everyone, the people they did know, when we, were back together, everybody was like, oh my gosh, so happy y'all back together. Da, da, da. So it was a lot of congratulations or, good for y'all, all the things. It was very positive getting back together. The decision to get back together to start back dating again in 2010, again, another one of those divine intervention things. I was again, in my profession of an esthetician, I'm also a makeup artist. So,
Oh, I knew it, cuz. I was like, I'd be wondering if you do makeup.
yeah, I'm a makeup artist. So,
My cousin. Okay.
I did makeup for celebrities, TV show, just all the things. And so one of my clients, unfortunately and unexpectedly, passed away. And her family reached out to me. It was like, we want you to do her makeup one last time. And I'm like, ooh. This is my first time. I've never done it before, only twice, her and then my grandmother. And so I was like, okay, but I was scared. So I went and did it. Her family absolutely loved it. You know, seeing people, obviously I've been to quite a few funerals and it's a difference when you have just the company do it and then an actual makeup artist do it, because the way they had it set, she had to already be done when I came in. And so when I came in, her family was like, she looked like she was gone. But when I did it, she looked like she was asleep. She still looked very much like, So they were happy about that. I was happy about it, but I was still shook because I was used to doing her alive, talking to me and things like that. So I went home that night, and I put the kids to bed, and I was just at home chilling. The house was clean, fed. I was chilling till I went to sleep. But I couldn't go to sleep because I was so scared. I'm like, oh, God, is it here? Right. I'm starting to hear everything, I hear all the cracks in the house. So I'm just like sitting on the couch like, oh, Lord. And then I get a phone call. It was him. Now, normally, again, because of, I'm like, I'm doing what I need to do. I'm moving on. I don't, we cool. The kid's good, whatever. So there's no need. What you calling me at this time of night for? Like, he would call, like, I had, like, the kid. Once the kid's in bed, you don't need to call me because it ain't nothing to talk about.
Some boundaries.
Yeah.
That's real.
We don't need to talk about nothing because they sleep. And so, but it was after they were asleep, obviously. And so he called me, and I'm like, nah, I know he ain't calling me after they sleep. And so, I answered though, and he was like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "No," and he was like, "I'm on my way."
Wow.
And that was the beginning of let's look beyond mother and father. Let's try to get back into a couple.
That is so beautiful. I swear it really is.
Thank you.
I was playing pool, like not too far from my house, but I had a good feeling like something wasn't right. My stomach started, so I sat down on the bench, and cousins, friends, they playing. I'm like, give me a second. So I'm like, something ain't right. Something's wrong. I don't know what's wrong.
Wow.
I don't know nothing, but again, divine. Hello, hey, what you do? What's up? It might have been 10:30, 11 o'clock. I don't know.
About 10 something.
And she was like, I'm like, I ain't even asking no more questions. I left them there.
Bye, y'all.
I'm out.
Bye, Felicia.
I'm out.
I love that, y'all. That is so beautiful. Oh, my God. Okay, guys. I love Wednesdays again, and this is the 11th. Your anniversary is coming up in a few days.
Yes.
Valentine's Day is coming right around the corner. So I just want to talk about, all the lovely things.
Yes.
But I want to talk about, just the writing of the book and just, in the middle of building up this beautiful love, you've been balancing being a business owner. Will, I didn't even ask you what you do. I actually don't even know. I don't even know, actually,
As a profession, I'm a safety professional, but as a trade.
Okay.
I do have a safety company, and we are building that up more now. But yes, that was part of my transition when we divorced, to get a skill, to get something that would allow me to take care of my family and be the provider that I need to be. So I kind of put the entrepreneurial hustle spirit to the side and work on more entrepreneurial contract type of deals.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm in the construction field. So now with the building of a lot of data centers in the United States, it's a need for safety professionals. So, and I've been doing safety since the BP oil spill.
Okay, that's good.
That was right around the time that we were separated, and we spent a lot of time together traveling getting back together throughout the divorce.
Mhm.
Well, after the divorce, while we were reconnected, and it has allowed me to spend a lot of good times with my wife, just having that trade under me. So yes, I am a safety professional by trade.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the reason why I asked is like, okay, you're working, you're doing this,
Right.
you are being a father, being a husband, you being
Right.
a mother, you being a wife, but you have complexions.
Mhm.
But y'all found time to
The
write a
Kitchen's
book.
Table
Yes.
brand.
Yeah,
Yes,
y'all-
the kitchen's
and
table.
I want to
Right.
get to
Yes,
so
the
which
kitchen's
one came
table.
first? This or the kitchen's table?
Well,
So the
yeah.
kitchen, because our last name is Kitchens, it's
Right.
always been like the kitchen's
That's the
table.
brand.
That's the
yeah.
brand low key. And then we wrote the book because we would get so many questions. Once people
Right.
realize kind of like the story, they'd be like, well, what? How? And da-da-da-da. And so one of our high school, not an actual classmate, she actually graduated a few years after us. She kind of sparked the brand even more, kind of like put a strategy behind it. And so she was just like, because she called her own personal issues. She was like, so how did y'all, and because me and mine, and da-da-da, and y'all should write a book, and y'all should do this and do that. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. Because we've been thinking it, but again, when you want to have a successful business, you got to have systems in place, point blank, period. Especially now with AI, that's a whole nother thing.
Right,
like you really got to step it up with the systems. So anyway, she kind of like put the systematic thing in place, and then I just took it from there. And because we didn't know how to write a book, we didn't know what about a book. So he knows someone kind of like in the entertainment industry or something, and they was like, well, we don't do books, but we can point you to somebody that does. And so we invested and took the course on really how to learn how to put our story into something tangible. And it's available on our website, thekitchenstable.com. It's also available on Amazon. So we wrote the book. It took about maybe a couple of years, I would say, about a year or two before it actually came into a tangible product. But it tells our love story, and I wanted it to do more because it's so much going on with couples in general, especially Black couples and Black families. So I didn't want it to be a juicy detail book, like too much. Like this is the time for juicy details. And then we also are having a marriage coaching program too. So for couples that need to have some guidance, that need a little bit more detail, how can we help us? We also have a coaching program that you can find that on our website. But in this book, we tell a little bit about our story, but we're also giving a guide. Right. So this is a guide on if you get to this point, or if you see yourself getting to this point, this is how you can, work through it so that you don't end up how we did a divorce, because it's not always a given that if you get divorced, you'll get back together.
Right.
So if you really love somebody, there's ways that you can work through it without getting a divorce.
That's good. Because I was going to ask, like, when y'all look back, do you think, like, dang, we could have went through them 3 years and working it out, opposed to getting a divorce? Or, obviously we don't live life with regrets, but in hindsight, when you think about it, it's like, okay, well, maybe we could have, like you said, prevented the divorce.
In our instance, I want to say, like you said, you don't live life with regrets. And looking at it now, I think the divorce helped in a sense. It was needed because we were just it was just so off kilter. Like we needed that divorce, like to show seriousness on both ends. Like this is enough is enough. But like if we did have some type of a guidance, to help us work through things and help him work through things, then it could have possibly, and I think too that you have to be realistic with yourself and with your spouse and know when things are starting to get there, to seek help early. Right. Because if you wait too late, then sometimes it's just too late. It's just too late. Yeah. So with the book, actually, the book did come first, I believe, or they both are kind of overlapped. Okay. As far as the kitchen table, because we also have a dinnerware brand, a luxury dinnerware brand that we retail. And again, our last name is Kitchens. We love to entertain. We love to host. We both can cook really well. Okay, so we're all about like events and entertaining our friends and guests and things like that. Okay. Which brings us to our next thing that we're starting this year, a dinner party series for married couples.
I've seen that. We're gonna break that down also. Okay.
Yeah.
So you said you can find the book on the website. You find the book on Amazon. Then okay, we're not gonna spill no details on the book because you gotta go get that.
You gotta go get it. Yes.
But I want to talk about the luxury wear set. How did that come about though? What does that process look like to create something like that? Because that was number one. I noticed that the last name is Kitchens, but I didn't realize that was, and I think I've seen you like post before that we have this luxury, dinnerware set. But it wasn't until it was cold not too long ago, and I seen you like you had chili in your bowl, and I was like, oh, this is God's damn bowl. This just ain't her bowl. This is their like this they brand.
Yeah, this is our bowl. Yeah,
so smart, so on brand. I love it, by the way. But yeah, what does that look like?
So again, like I said in the beginning, as far as my going back to high school career path, when the dental hygiene didn't work, I still know I love everything, all things beauty, all things pretty. Okay. And so presentation for me is everything. Okay, like you have to present well. And so, again, we love to cook. We love to entertain. So I'm like, wait a minute. I think that we should come out with some dinnerware because we're always cooking, we're always entertaining, and I love gold. Gold is everywhere. Gold is in my complexions business, and gold is in our brand business, our TKT business. So I wanted the design to be nice and elegant and sleek and all things pretty. And then gold again, so add that gold in it. So I had to seek out different vendors and try out different products and see which one that I really like, weight class, quality, just all the things. I was my own little quality inspector. And then Will, he just like, okay, yeah, if you like it, yeah, I love it. And so our name, again, it wasn't hard to come up with the brand of our name because it is us. We are the Kitchens table. And I was able to, I was able to call in on a highly known radio station and give a what do you call it, a viewpoint based on a topic that they have, and it centers around our book, the Kitchens table. A lot of families don't eat together as a family anymore at the table. And so I was saying that we do. We have a brand about it. That's our name. That's our company. We do. Because a lot of conversations, back in the day, a lot of things happened at the Kitchens table. You were able to discuss your day, check in with each other, talk about future goals, future plans and stuff like that. But all in all, it's love. And so love happens here at the Kitchens table. That's our slogan. So that's what's on the back of all of our dinnerware. So, the Kitchens table, and then love happens here.
That's very nice. I don't know anybody with like a dinnerware set, Yeah. So y'all are the first. This is my family, y'all.
This is my family.
So I love that. I really, really do. I love that you eat dinner with your family. Y'all got a beautiful family.
Thank you.
A beautiful, beautiful family.
Thank you.
What does the marriage coaching sessions look like? Because I was on the website and I was looking. I like how you got it structured, but I just want you to share with the people.
So if you were to reach out with us, you would go into our website again, thekitchenstable.com. And then you would scroll over to, I want to say it's the side notes or the sweet endings page. And then you'll see a calendar. You just select your date on that calendar. And that first initial call will be like a discovery call where we'll get to know the people on the other end. They'll get to know a little bit about us. Well, you kind of already know about us, but we'll really want to see how we can best help them. And then if we feel that we are a good fit and they agree to the terms and the timeline, then we'll go forward. It's a 12-week program, which is not a lot of time. And we make that time very strategic in where we help them in the areas that they need most to overcome some of those concerns. And the main concern with marriages that we find is effective communication. So, and especially with blended families, part of our purpose is to prioritize marriage and set effective communication and healthy boundaries with co-parents and in-laws. So, because that can be a little tricky when you're dealing with blended families. You have to set the marriage first as first priority and the effective communication between you and your spouse. And then once you do that, you have to set boundaries, and boundaries again with the in-laws, with the co-parents and even with the children, because the children, and we have a perspective too, because the children, when they're young, pretty much are very, very innocent. They don't know they're children.
Yeah.
But the children grow up teens, they can grow up, and just depends. Everybody's story is different. The children can even, you could probably have to set boundaries with the children at times, because just like your own kids, they can play mom against dad. Like, mama gonna let us do it.
Right.
Daddy ain't. So, so it still happens. It can happen in a blended family. So you set the boundaries with your co-parents, in-laws, and the kids, and you keep even your own kids. You got to set boundaries with your biological kids too, because they can be like, daddy, 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 I need. No.
Yeah.
Go away. Go
that.
into, you know what I'm saying? So it's all about prioritizing your marriage, how to do that effectively. Yeah.
I love that. Where can we just follow you both, stay in contact with you? If you have anything upcoming for the month of February.
So again, we're The Kitchen's Table 2.0, because we got married again.
I love that.
2.0.
Our website is thekitchens.com. Our Instagram and TikTok handles are The Kitchen's Table 2.0. Facebook, I think it's The Kitchen's Table, just The Kitchen's Table. You got to include that S. And so we like to be very interactive on our social media platforms. We also have a YouTube, the same thing, The Kitchen's Table 2.0. So please follow us, share, spread the word, comment, get involved in some of our activities. We do have the dinner party series starting this month. Well, starting, February. It'll be the 28th is the first one, but you have to fill out the form on the website, because it's kind of like at a private location, i.e. our home. But the dinner party series is something where we are having married couples or engaged with a date, because we don't just want it to be boyfriend and girlfriend.
Right.
We want you to take it seriously. So marriage or engaged, where you can come and talk and share and break bread with other like-minded couples, get some, just a vibe, and get some help if you need it, get some other ideas, because we kind of had one for couples giving. We invited a lot of couples over, and it was a really good time. And what a lot of the guests said is that they realized that we all go through the same thing as married couples, just at different stages in your life. So what we went through so young, some other couple may not go to that until 15, 20 years down the line. So you can still help other couples just by listening to their stories. Yeah. So that's what the Kitchen's Table 2.0 dinner party series is about.
This platform is all about allowing people to tell their story, because it's healing in that. Like, you telling your testimony helps somebody else, and it empowers them to tell theirs, or just keep going through it. Yeah. Because I can get through it, Mm-hmm. So what is the difference, would you say, between, loving Will before and loving him now? Like, what are some of the major differences? And I'm asking you the same thing.
It's easier.
It's easier.
It's easier.
And what makes it easier?
It's easier because the weight is off. And it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
It's more fun now? Okay, why? What's the difference? What fun?
Again, we have a foundation, and it flows really well. Not to say that we have a fairy tale marriage now. There's still hiccups. Let's just be clear. But it flows and it's rooted and grounded in love and God and faith. And so we are able to enjoy each other more now, instead of just being so tense about things. Yeah.
Yeah, to me, it's better now. It's easier. It's easier because I am a different person. I'm not saying like a different person, but I have different views on how to handle different situations. The boundaries, the no's, the I can't go, those things are said now, when in the beginning, I was just all over the place trying to please everybody. Yeah. So now it's like, I know my stance. You can leave and cleave, so.
Yes, right. I love no.
Right.
There's the power in no, power in N-O and power in K-N-O-W.
Yeah.
I say that all the time.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
What do you hope that your children are just like watching and getting from this by just watching y'all's story?
Our sons now are 28 and 24.
Crazy.
So they
it's crazy.
They know they can, they see a lot, so they don't really ask questions. But I believe that we are leading through example, through a very good example. Now our daughter Cadence, well, you know her name, Cadence.
She's 14.
Yeah, she's 14. So she asks questions all day long. Now she know. Yeah, she kind of can tell, because she would, about some of her Will's other kids that he has biologically are girls.
Okay.
So she has a really, really close bond with one of them. They just like two peas in a pod. She's close with the other two, but a closer bond with one of them. And so she'll ask, I remember she used to ask, she was like, well, this my sister. Where's her mom? You know, she would say stuff like that to be like, now what? This don't make sense. What's going on here? Yeah. So now she kind of gets, she kind of gets it, you know, she gets it. So I'm like, yeah. So now she knows and she's like, oh, okay, well, yeah. So, but now they see, they know, so they don't really ask questions like that.
Obviously in a marriage and spending so much time with someone, you're going to change as an individual. Like, that's not the same Will. This isn't the same Shaunda. But what advice do you have maybe for those married people who are, especially like newlyweds? Let's talk to like the people who maybe been married like 5 years and like, man, my husband he used to do this, but he's not doing that. And it's like something simple, not nothing like non-negotiable. But, you know, those simple changes that happen. Like, what advice do you have for couples to like recognize those changes and actually be able to like work through them without being, you know, making it so heavy, like you said?
I think I talk sometimes very elementary, and I say that because I want to make sure that, not to say Will's not intelligent, I'm not saying that, but just to make sure that it's very like there's no way you could say, oh, I didn't know that you were saying that. Or I didn't know. So effective communication is the first thing. You have to make sure that you really communicate what it is about your spouse that has changed, or what it is about your spouse that you want them to do new or try new. You have to be very effective in the way that you say it, and very loving. I have an authoritative voice. He say it all the time. He was like, it's how you say it. So especially, I carry a lot of passion. Again, I'm an entrepreneur. So, when I see things that I like or I want to do, I'm like, ooh, yeah. And it could come out in my voice. Like, no, we got to do, you know, and it's not me yelling. It's just like, it's so full on the inside. I'm trying to get it out without, you know, so I have to make sure, and couples have to make sure that when you have a lot of passion, you don't want to, first, I think that, back it up a little bit, your partner, your spouse, they know who they married in a sense. So you have to kind of give your spouse some grace and like really ask yourself, like, okay, is my spouse, is he or she trying to yell at me, or is he really just excited and trying to explain it to the best of their ability? So you'll know what type of person you have. So if you have a yelly person, that's not me, then, you know, y'all have to find a way to, you know, get that kind of like smoothed out. But still, with that being said, you want to make sure that you're just effectively communicating that, even though when you have the passion, still make it, you know, soften it a bit, so that they can receive it. But I would say stay consistent with that communication, letting them know. And I think when you soften it, because a lot of people have things going on a lot of time, and, you know, your work life or whatever, when you soften it, you'll say it a lot, but it should not be received as aggressive or nagging.
For sure.
Because you're just letting them know that this is something that I really want, or this is something that I really like. And then also lead by example. Because when you're asking your spouse to do something, but you're not doing it yourself, what you asking me for?
Right.
So you can't ask your spouse for something that you're not willing to give yourself. So that's what I would say.
Okay. Anything you will, especially men, like anything you want to tell men that are young in this husband role?
Expectations is key. So certain expectations need to be thought out before you expect someone to do something that you didn't communicate to them that this is what you want. And expectation does put a hurt in a relationship, because you can, let's say you have two husband, wife, and they both work, and one come home, he's had a bad day, she come home, she's had a bad day. They're trying to figure out, how are you going to help my bad day? But I didn't tell you had a bad day, but I want you to rub my back or give me a side. I want you to come to me and be nurturing or asking what's going on, but not thinking she's had a bad day also. So I think a lot of times you have to communicate these things and effectively let your spouse know what it is that you want. Because if not, you're just going to be sitting there. And when you change, I think the other spouse needs to realize what happened for them to change. Try to allow them to be heard about certain things that might have happened. So that cause them to change. So any new husbands, anyone men thinking about it, there are good things in being a husband and being married. We get caught up in the influences and the outside about men in marriages. Doesn't make you weak to be a husband. Doesn't make you weak to be in a marriage. It actually builds you up and makes you strong because now you have a partner that has your back before any other person would and can be there for you. You have to treat it as such and make sure you put power and input into this marriage so that it can work. But I've had nothing but good things about being married. It's certain things that I don't do. I'm still old school. I like dinners. I like clean houses. I got a friend called my wife Hollywood Royale. He come over, he just be like, "What is this? Where'd y'all get that at? Who thought of this?" You know, he just be so at awe about how she puts it together. And that's what I like because certain things I don't have to worry about. And that's what playing your role in being in a marriage is. A lot of things nowadays is so it's not how it was back in the day. My father was an old school guy. He didn't do 50-50. It was 100-100. But his 100 was he took care of the house, he took care of the cars, he took care of a lot of stuff. And once you get that mindset that it's not 50-50, you can allow yourself as a man to be a man in your house. It's not a chauvinistic approach. It's just that play your role, and your role is to provide and protect. And if you can't do that, you got to figure out a way to put yourself in that position to do that. It might need you to get a second job, or it might need you to get another hustle or cut grass on the weekend. But you're a man, you got to provide. But if you coming home and you're asking your wife or your girlfriend, "I need your half on the rent," y'all are roommates at this point because that's not your house.
I heard it from my cousin first.
Right. How can you be the head of the household and you're not taking care of the household? And a lot of men want to be the head of the household without putting down that foundation of, I am the head of this household. And it's not in a like authoritative way of dictatorship, but in a way of she knowing that she can be soft around me because these are things that I'm going to take care of. So don't you worry about that. How much is the mortgage? I don't know. How much is the car phone bill? I don't know. So those are things that you do. And it makes you feel good. Like I said, going back to when we were younger, it made me feel good knowing that I could provide a coat for her to make sure she's warm. And the same thing applies to now at the house. It makes me feel good knowing I can provide a nice luxury house for her and she's safe and warm and comfort in the home.
I love that so much. Oh my gosh, y'all, this was beautiful. Black love, bold history. That's the theme for February.
Yep.
So is there any other thing that you want to leave us with and couples with to continue to build Black love and create bold history? Like anything? That's what y'all are doing.
When I think about problems in society or in the Black community or in families, period, it starts at home. Yeah. And it starts at home building a real foundation and setting yourself up to know that if I can control anything in this world, I can control what's going on in this house. So these kids that's coming up under me, they need to see a strong man. The young lady, my daughter, they need to be able to see what type of man there is and what type of man I can choose. So yes, you have to put the work in and not worry about what's going on outside. Focus on your circle in your house to make sure that it grows and it prospers from what you have put into it.
First chapter in the book, keep God first. It's marriage is a 3-strand cord: the husband, the wife, and God. That's it. No kids, no parents, no coworkers, no hobbies, no nothing. It's the husband, the wife, and God. That's that solid foundation. If you have that, then it'll be easier to keep everything else in place. And then effective communication. The communication is here first. So once you keep the communication set between the husband and wife, then everything else has to fall in line because you can't break this bond if you have that bond. That's why communication and having a relationship with God, making sure God is present in the center of your marriage is first. And then once you do that, everything else, is so much smoother. You'll be able to have a healthy marriage. You'll be able to have a passionate marriage. The passion can only come when the marriage is healthy. If it's not healthy, you're not going to get the lovey-doveyness that you want. So keep that marriage healthy by prioritizing your spouse, making sure your spouse is kept first, keeping God in the center, and then there you have it.
Yep.
And then one more thing. One more thing. We also have a song, y'all. We met in the band room, so we love music. We have a song. It's available on all downloads, Pandora, Apple, Spotify. It's called "I'm Married" by Lady K.
Lady K.
I might have heard this on your site.
It's on our site. So if you go to our site, you'll see it there. If you go to our bio, any of our pages, you'll see the link where you can download. But it's "I'm Married" spelled out like M.A. all that. So "Married" is an acronym on the song, but it's a fun, upbeat song for married couples. If you're not married, you're probably not going to like some of the lyrics in it because we are giving a shout out to married couples because we work hard for this.
There was something on the website that I just wanted to say because it just stood out to me. Okay. And you said marry up. It says that on your website to marry up. And I just love that because I've heard hang up too. Like don't hang with people who are, hang up. Don't be the big dog in your crew. Hang up. Right. So, and underneath that it says, and she's got brains enough for two, which is the exact quantity of the girl who marries you will need. And then me and Cuz was sitting here talking, but she said, women, all of us should be marrying up, with someone who can elevate you. So just touch on that a little bit.
So marry up to me means, as a female, as a woman, you want to marry up, meaning you want your husband to be a little bit more ahead of you. Because if you truly believe, going back to the word, the man is the head and all those things, then you want to make sure that when you marry up, he doesn't have to be 100 steps up. He doesn't have to be this multi-chameleonaire. That's not even a thing, but multi-millionaire, you get what I'm saying? But he does need to have provision and the vision to get you there. So it's a mindset thing. You don't want to marry someone that don't know where he going. Because how he gonna take you? And as husbands, I'll let him speak on that. But as husbands, kind of from a woman's standpoint, when you want your wife to submit and do all the things, where is she submitting to if you don't know where you're going? She can't submit to blindness. So that's how you'll get some rebuttal and pushback.
For sure.
But when you marry up, that's what you mean. You want to marry someone that's gonna help you to become better as well. So that's what I mean.
Cool. You agree, Will?
Oh, definitely. Yes. I do agree.
Yeah. Well, I can't thank y'all enough. I feel like we need to do this again. This ain't long enough.
Right.
Honestly, because there's just so much that we can just really keep talking about this subject. But, ultimately, Valentine's Day is right around the corner. Yes. And I feel like there's no better thing to do in Black History Month than to shine light on a couple who's walking bold in their purpose, because that's what this is about.
Thank you.
As individuals, but together as a unit. I think that's beautiful. We need to see more Black families. Lord,
yes.
I can't wait to get my beautiful Black family.
It's coming.
It's coming. It is. And I believe that, So I just love y'all's story, because I think you that girl.
Thank you.
Yes, I do. Will, you got you a bad one.
I know I did. Hey, if I didn't do one thing right, I picked that one right. Come on.
And I love also on your website that you say you would choose her twice.
Oh, yeah,
you had the opportunity to choose her twice, and I did. You were smart now. You were smart. So anything else y'all like to say, though, before we just wrap this thing up?
No, just keep the communication there, keep the love there. Trust and respect also are a must. And make sure you follow us. We are most active on Instagram. Again, The Kitchen's Table 2.0. Please get our book. Please get it from our website.
Support.
Yes, support. It's a verb. It's called How Badly Do You Want It? A Married Couple's Guide to a Healthy and Passionate Marriage. And we love to just connect with you.
Thank you so much, y'all. Make sure you follow them on all platforms for the great things that they have in store for this 2026. And if you're watching, again, follow Ladies in Motion on all platforms. Yes. Our vision board party is coming up March 1st next month. Make sure you go get the tickets, ladiesinmotion.net, or you can get them on Eventbrite. We have discount codes. If you were featured in season 5 and season 6 of the podcast, you'll be able to go at a discounted rate. But so many great things in store from women walking boldly in their purpose this season, okay? No longer tiptoeing, ladies, okay? So make sure you subscribe to this channel and stay in tune, okay? Because we have more Women That's Winning right here coming up. Bye.